It's my birthday week. Well, kind of. It's currently Sunday. My birthday's on Tuesday, and then Christmas is on Thursday. So it's like my birthday. It's like a few days of my birthday, and I'm going to celebrate. And by that, I mean I'm going to celebrate by reading whatever I want. Like I don't already do that already. This might surprise you, but I am in fact a mood reader, which is why a lot of the time if I'm not like vibing with a book, I switch to audiobook because I'm not an audiobook mood reader. I can listen to almost anything. For this vlog specifically, I'm only reading what I feel like reading. My goal really is to finish my reading goal. I don't know. We're vibing today. We're gonna be hanging out until I have decided I've vlogged enough. So, vibes. I pulled Sabriel in the last vlog in my bubblegum pools, but I didn't end up finishing it in that vlog. I started reading it a little bit, not very much. I think I'm on chapter like 2, 3. Oh, I'm on chapter 4. Well, I'm on chapter 4 and I'm enjoying it enough that I'm going to continue reading it. Like eyeball reading it. For now, will I finish it in this vlog? I don't know, but I'm going to at least be reading some of it. Then I'm going to read not this one, but as you can see, I picked this up at Ollie's for $2.99, not realizing this is in fact the second book in the series. I saw the front and I went, Regency Lesbians, say less. But because this is the second book, I'm going to read the Governess Gambit, I think, and then the Duke something. I have them digitally on my e-reader. Okay, yeah, the Governess Gambit and the Duke Heist are the first two, and then I don't know if I'll have time to get to this one, but this is on the radar. This is what this is the end game goal of where I want to be at some point. Yeah, unless I decide I don't like the series and I DNF it, but I really want to see what this one's about, so I'm probably not going to DNF it. And then for further vibes, I really want to read Matchmaking for Psychopaths by Tasha. I didn't say who any of those books were by. Garth Nix, Ridley, Matchmaking for Psychopaths by Tasha, Coryell. And the only reason I want to read this is because the cover is really pulling me in. And also Matchmaking for Psychopaths. That just sounds interesting. Okay, so Lexi's fiance runs away with her best friend on her birthday. Lexi decides to throw herself into an unusual job matchmaking psychopaths, which her clients are blissfully unaware. Oh, so she's matching up people who she thinks are psychopaths, but she doesn't know they're psychopaths. Oh, then a human heart appears on Lexi's doorstep. Okay, no, okay, so a client named Aiden insists they're soulmates, and another intriguing client, Rebecca, seems perfect to fill in the best friend shaped hole. Okay, so she's matching herself, well, not matching herself, I guess Aiden's matching themselves with her. Rebecca is the best friend fill-in. Okay, so who's the so-called psychopath in this? I don't know, sounds interesting. I want to read this. Also pink always gets me with the pink, and pink always gets me with the pink. Do I want to add a bubblegum pool and just see how I go? I'm going to give myself the option to veto it if it's something I don't want to read in the moment, but I will slot that into another, maybe not the next vlog. I'll slot it in somewhere, but I think I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to regret it, but I'm going to do it. Oh, also on another note, I updated my TBR board. Yes, I did have far more books than I thought I was going to have when I updated this. I thought it was going to be closer to like the 130s, but in my defense, before, I didn't have any of my classics on there. They were not listed in the TBR. I have a list of all the books too. They were not listed in the TBR list. And then this also includes like every book I have in a series. So like all of my Robert Jordan books are in here. All of my Diana Gabaldon books are in here that I haven't read yet. I have quite a few. Is it Terry Goodkind? I have a bunch of Terry Goodkinds that I've been collecting over the years because it was my best friend's favorite series when we were in high school, and I never read it, and I still haven't read it, and I swear one day I am going to at least try it. But I've been collecting the old covers in the meantime because they're really cheap at my library. My library's used book sale, and what if I love it? I don't have the best excuse. Okay, I keep buying them. But this ended up being a little bit more than I was anticipating. The bubblegum machine is not updated with all of these, or it wouldn't be updated with all of these anyway. It would only be updated with the standalones and the first books in the series, but it currently is not updated to any of this. I'm going to go through probably all of the ones in the machine first and then refill it with whatever's left. Okay. It's a flowery yellow one. The Lion of Ireland. I just went through every single book and I typed them up on a list. And I don't know what that is. It's gotta be one of the old paperbacks. They strike again. I have so many of them. I was correct. It was in fact one of the old mass market paperbacks that I get at the used bookstore. This is the tentative, somewhat TBR. I'm definitely going for these at least. Maybe even this one, depending on how the others go. It's my birthday and I'm about to head out for my free birthday coffee, but I wanted to show off like this mug my sister ended up getting me for my birthday because It's really cute. I want to know what edition of Jane Eyre this is because I don't think I have that one. And I collect editions of my favorite classics, like different editions of my favorite classics, and that includes Jane Eyre. I already have this edition of Pride and Prejudice. Where is it? Pride and Prejudice. I have that one already, but I don't have this edition of Jane Eyre, and I really like it. Well, actually, since I have this edition of Pride and Prejudice, maybe it's the same edition as the Jane Eyre, so I should go see what that is. But yeah, I wanted to show this off. On another note, I also finished The Governess Gambit by Erica Ridley? Yeah, Erica Ridley. This isn't The Governess Gambit, obviously, but I will update on that later. Okay, before I go into The Governess Gambit, let me show you what I got for Christmas. First, I got another mug. I actually got another mug, but that one's in the dishwasher, so you can't see that one, but this mug is Jane Austen. And then I also got a Pride and Prejudice tote bag because I could never have enough tote bags. I probably have like 20 now. It's not a problem. And then my friend, who I don't know if you've noticed, but I do enjoy dice. I have my special, you can't see it, but I have my special like dice thing, and I go through a lot of dice. So my friend, who owns a 3D printer, made me this. It does glow in the dark. I'll have to figure out how to show that at some point, but it's a dice thing, a dice tray or a dice holder, and then focus. Oh, okay. Well, I can't get that to focus, but liquid Coryell dice, and I love them. Now, The Governess Gambit by Erica Ridley, which I'm reading so I can read eventually. Perks of Loving a Wallflower. Was fun. I thought it was a nice setup to the world that we're getting into. You meet all the different Winchesters, which I think each book is going to be set in a Winchester for a Winchester character. You meet all of them in this novella. I've started reading The Duke Heist, which is technically the first book in the series, but I think if I hadn't read The Governess Gambit, it wouldn't have landed as well because there's information in The Governess Gambit that isn't repeated in The Duke Heist. So despite it being a novella set before the series, I think people should be reading that first. Okay, I don't know what happened to my lighting, but you're introduced to the Winchesters, which are a set of orphans adopted by a baron who I guess never had any children of his own, so he just adopted all these children, and they grew up together. They're kind of known, not great within the Ton, not well within the Ton. They're a little bit notorious and a little bit infamous for the fact that they're orphans. They're all adopted by this one guy, and I guess they're kind of troublemakers in a sense, but you're following one of them, Chloe, who is the main character of the first book and is trying to get back a painting that is stolen in The Governess Gambit. Technically, the story that you're following in The Governess Gambit is they're trying to help a little girl who was adopted by a family, disliked by said family, and then sent off to a school so that they don't have to deal with her anymore. She runs away from that school, and they find out that the school is just a really bad place, and they're making a lot of the children work rather than learn. The ones who don't really have families, the ones whose families don't check up on them, they have to work instead of learn, and it's just like miserable. So she pretends to be a governess so she can uncover what's happening and basically get the place shut down. But within that, this very important painting to them gets stolen. The first book is them getting the painting back, but this kind of sets up for that. So I'm about a quarter of the way into The Duke Heist, so I'll get back to that when I finish it. Don't mind this, I scratched my lip and then accidentally scratched the scab off, so it's been a minute. So many minutes that actually I don't remember when I last updated anything, because I stopped doing anything for the last couple days of the year, and it is currently January 1st, so I don't know where we're sitting, but updates. But from what I wrote my little update list, I have finished The Duke Heist, which I gave 3 stars. I'm really enjoying the way Erica Ridley writes their whole storylines and their characters, but it gets a little cheesy. It's just a little too sweet and comforting and cheesy for me. I like it. I do really enjoy, especially the characters. I really do like the characters in the series so far. But there are just moments where I'm like, But I am going to keep going because I started The Rake Mistake, I think it is, which is the novella that goes right before the whole reason I started this in the first place, this one, which I still need to, actually, I got I forgot it's right here, a sticker scraper, and I don't know if this is even going to work, but I would like to test it. I got it specifically for this book, but I have a lot of books I need to use it on. Let's see if you even work. I'm so tired of stickers on books. And if I damage this book, I'll be okay with it because it was literally $3. Okay, I don't know if it's because it was an Ollie sticker, but that was not a good job. That was not great. And I did end up nicking the book. Anyway, started The Rake Mistake, so I can get into that one next. And then people are setting off fireworks. You might hear that in the background. But I started Matchmaking for Psychopaths by Tasha Coryell. I'm actually almost done with it at this point. But this isn't quite what I thought it was going to be. I mean, it is at the base of it. Like, she is a matchmaker for psychopaths. That's literally like her job description. And I think her workplace is aware of it. Like, that's they're aware that that is what her title is, publicly or not. But it's definitely taking some twists that I was not expecting. And then I also started Close Your Eyes and Count to 10 by Lisa Unger, and I think this is my first book by Lisa Unger. In this, you're following a mother of two who is also an influencer whose husband vanished one day. He just up and left her and her children, and in order to like help with the costs of raising her two children, because she's not doing great in that aspect, not her, but like she's having some money problems, she decides to sign up for a game of like, it's live streamed, it's like extreme hide and seek on this abandoned island, or it's like an abandoned building on an island or something like that. And the thing about this is there's some controversy surrounding the entire thing, because the last time they had one of these happen, or the last time one of these happened, someone went missing and was never found. And I'd say I'm about 100 pages in, and I'm enjoying it so far. The whole influencer aspect is interesting. It's a bunch of influencers being recruited by another influencer to do this giant game, and you're just getting like some of them have, I guess all of them have brand deals, and they're live streaming during this, which if they're live streaming during the hide and seek so that the main guy can see what they're doing and keep an eye on them, what's to stop the others from looking into those live streams and finding out where they are? And maybe they addressed that at some point, but so far they have not addressed that, at least as far as I'm aware. Maybe I missed it. That's like the basic gist of what I have for updates right now. I'm gonna stop because they're really going off with the fireworks, and it's interrupting me and it's startling me, and I'll be back when I finish something. I'm doing really bad with updates this time around. My hair's still drying, so don't mind how crunchy it looks. I really need to do an update. It's been a minute. I finished Close Your Eyes and Count to 10 by Lisa Unger, and I finished Matchmaking for Psychopaths by Tasha Coryell. I gave Matchmaking for Psychopaths a 3. It was okay. I enjoyed it for the most part. There are parts I could have liked better. The twist was decent. It felt kind of rambling at points. Not rambling. Meandering. It felt kind of meandering at points. I thought this would be a little bit more faster paced considering like what it's about, and maybe a little bit more out there considering what it's about, but it's less weird girl and more thriller light, I guess. It's not thriller light exactly because there are body parts involved, but I don't know how else to explain it. It just wasn't thriller enough for me, I guess, for me to consider it like a thriller. Close Your Eyes and Count to 10, also, I gave it 2 stars, but it also suffered the not thriller enough for me to be, well, no, I do consider this a thriller, I just don't consider it a good thriller, so I didn't like this very much at all. I like the concept of it and some of the execution, but a lot of it, the main storyline was not main storyline enough. I don't know why we were focusing on the side storyline so much. I do know why we were focusing on the side storyline so much. It is very intertwined with what's really going on. But I don't know, I wanted more of the hide and seek part of it and not the other part of it that ended up being like the main part of it. I also finished The Rake Mistake, which I think is my favorite so far. I still gave it a 3 like I have been along the line. But I really like Philippa as a character, and I think she's cute. And I like her little blue stocking book group. I like the whole idea of all these women getting together and just reading books, but they're like not the kind of books you would expect a group of society women to be reading. Not that we ever really get many titles, but like I like it. And since I finished The Rake Mistake, that means it's finally time to start reading The Perks of Loving a Wallflower, which I technically already started, which I'm not confused by because which one is Philippa and which one is Tommy? I think the blonde one's supposed to be Philippa, but that doesn't really look like what I expected her to look like. I don't know. I'm excited to get more Philippa. I love Philippa. I also finally got started on The Lion of Ireland, not very far. This is much denser than I thought it would be, but also very readable. It's not like it throws a lot of, for me, obscure names because I'm not familiar with a lot of Irish names, but it is very readable. It's interesting, and it's really not dry. The main reason I updated now and not like I continued to put it off is because I got through The Gates of Garnet and Gold by Seanan McGuire, and I'm excited. So I'm going to read all of this probably in one sitting. I'm so excited for this. Don't mind the fact my face is currently melting off. I took a nap. And I also finished The Perks of Loving a Wallflower by Ridley, and I don't know where I put the book. I think I left it in the car because I was reading it while I was somewhere, and I must have shoved it in the back when I finished. Don't know where I put it. But I finished through Gates of Garnet and Gold by Seanan McGuire. I gave Gates of Garnet and Gold a 3, which is probably one of the lowest ratings I've given a Wayward Children's book in a while. This one, the start of it was good. I like the way we're building up. I like being able to see Nancy again. I liked seeing Nancy's world. And then it just felt so rushed, I think is the proper word for what I want to say. Like I don't know, we got to a certain point and then it just kind of, I liked the twist. I thought the twist was good. I thought it was a really interesting way to do it, especially with how the worlds are interconnected with each other in ways that you don't really expect. I did like that. However, what happened at the end there? I know they're short, I know they're meant to be compact, and I know the story isn't really meant to like be super fleshed out, but I just felt like we were rushing through it at like Mach speed, and I was not here for it. So 3 stars for that one. I will be continuing the series though, because I love that series. We have a few flops here and there, but I will be continuing. And then The Perks of Loving a Wallflower, I gave somewhere between a 3.5 and a 3.75. It was a 4, like a solid 4-star up until maybe like the last little bit here. We just got really angsty. And like, I understand why we were getting angsty and where all of it was coming from. And I kind of expected it because they did that in the first book too. But I don't know, it kind of dragged on a little bit too long. And I was just like, can we wrap it up already? So I dropped it down to a 3.75, but you can't do 3.75 on Pagebound, and Pagebound is my favorite version of a reader website to use. You can only do a 3.5. I gave it a 4 on Goodreads, and I think I gave it a 3.5 on Pagebound, but it's kind of like technically a 3.75. I thought it was cute. I love Philippa. I think Philippa is so fun. It did keep me guessing because for a long time I was like, how are we going to get around the whole issue of gender in this book? In the society and society in this book. And it did kind of wrap up in a way I wasn't quite expecting it to. I am pleased with the way it wrapped up. I wasn't thrilled about the whole last section of us getting there. But I probably will continue on with this series. There's one for every Winchester, so there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's 8 Winchesters. Am I missing somebody? Wait. Chloe, Tommy, Graham, Marjorie, Elizabeth, and then Jacob? Is that the last brother's name? So 6. I can count. 6 books. This is the second one. And I don't know if they're all out yet, but I will be continuing either until I hit something that I really don't like, or I just, what's the word? Wheedle? I get bored. And then speaking of getting bored, I'm DNFing Sabriel. I got about 34% of the way into this, and it's not for me. I have read other things I've read one other thing by Garth Nix before, and it was decent enough that I want to continue reading Garth Nix's work, but I don't want to continue this. I don't want to continue the series. This is technically, I think, a standalone, and then the other books are like in the world. I don't care enough about the world or the characters. You like barely learn who Sabriel is at all. They introduced a cat I really liked. I guess it's not really a cat. It's a cat-like creature who I really enjoyed, but that wasn't enough to keep me interested in the rest of the book. So we're not going to continue on with this. I also may have gone book shopping. I've been hearing a lot of good things about this one. Do I need to stop jumping the gun and buying books before I've read them so that I can stop buying books I don't end up really liking? Because I'm a very harsh reader and very hard to please, and I end up getting rid of books anyway. Yeah. So the vlog following this one, I have one more book I have to read in this vlog, and that's The Lion of Ireland, which is going well. I'm not bored yet. Can I tell you how far along I am? No. I don't know how far along I am. And next vlog, I'll be reading this probably. Either the upcoming vlog or the vlog after that. I want to get through this as soon as possible so that I don't get spoiled for what's coming up. And the second book and the third, it's a trilogy, right? I don't know. I hear really good things more often than not when it comes to fantasy. I agree with what other people say. That's tentative. I took the plunge. And I'm a little scared, but this is a nice floppy. I like the way this one flops. So at least I'll have fun with that. See you when I finish The Lion of Ireland. I lied. I'm DNFing The Lion of Ireland. Lion of Ireland? Yeah. Also, don't mind all of this. I'm getting ready for bed. But I wanted to get my thoughts out before I woke up tomorrow and just, completely forgot everything. I don't like the way the women are written in this. Like, period. It's giving... If I didn't know this was a women writing women, I would immediately think it was written by a man, and not a man who views women particularly well. I can't remember exactly where I stopped because I took the bookmark out. I shouldn't have done that, but I got far enough to form the idea that the women in this story seem like they're only there to make Brian look manlier. It's giving those women you see clutching the feet of the heroic man while they're all posing sexily. Like, she's only there to make him look better, or as like an object for his... Yeah, only there for him. And don't get me started on Brian. Didn't like Brian at all. He was very can do no wrong, but also I'm a giant asshole. It didn't take very long for the women to start getting introduced and groped by Brian. I'm not even sure how old the first girl was. She was explicitly stated to be a girl. I'm guessing Brian wasn't very old either, but we got that too. Okay, I'm not going to stand here and figure out where it was. I was far enough that I know I'm not going to finish it. So that's another DNF, but that also brings me to the end of everything I read. But I'm going to recap that later. I will see you tomorrow when I'm hopefully not as exhausted and also not in my nightgown. It was picking up the lion as the face. How did we get sideways? What happened? Wow, I almost had like a 3-star sweep this time, which, does that make this my best reading vlog, my most mediocre reading vlog? Because I've definitely had better books before, but I don't think I've ever had like almost straight 3s, except for the DNFs, and actually one other book, which was a 2. This was probably the longest reading vlog I've done, because I started it before my birthday on December 23rd, and it is January 12th. Like, it just took me forever to get through everything, and I think it's just like the end of the year, everything happening, and then the start of the year, everything happening. It just took me a while to get through everything. I don't know if that's going to slow down, because I've got a lot of stuff coming up this year that might hinder my reading a lot, which is why I'm doing 150 books as a goal rather than my usual 200. So if I only get one vlog a month, I guess that's just how it's going to be. This one took forever. Hopefully the next one won't take so long. Fingers crossed. Anyway, wrap up. We've got a DNF, a 3-star, another 3-star, another DNF, another 3-star, a 2-star, another 3-star, a 3.5-star / 3.75 star, and then another 3-star. Almost a full 3-star sweep. I'm seriously going to try to read books I'm really excited about in 2026. 2025 was more of like a trying to get through books I'd been meaning to read, whether or not they would be like 5-star material or not. This year, I'm going to try to aim for books I really think will be 5 stars. Don't mind my making noise. Especially since I'm going to be reading fewer books. So the only problem is I thought I was reading books that were going to be 5 stars. Like, I really thought Prior to the Orange Tree was going to be like an ultimate 5-star book. Like, I don't give out 5 stars easily. I thought that was going to be a 5-star book. It really wasn't. So I'm a little nervous about picking up books I think are going to be 5 stars because I'm probably going to be wrong. Am I going to do it anyway? Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens in the new year. This new year, it is past the new year at this point. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one where I pick up my first, hopefully 5-star. I'm so excited for this, for The Will of the Many. Hopefully it's a 5-star. Okay, I guess that's my cue to leave, so thank you for watching. Bye.